stop scrolling past Stoicism because you think it belongs to men in marble halls. That assumption has cost women 2,000 years of wisdom that was always meant for them. The world presents Stoic philosophy as a masculine inheritance. Emperors and senators, bearded men debating in ancient courtyards, and somewhere along the way, women began to believe this wisdom wasn't theirs to claim. They scroll past the quotes, they skip the books. They assume that what helped Marcus Aurelius couldn't possibly help them navigate anxiety, difficult relationships, or the weight of carrying everyone else's burdens. This is a lie that history told you, and today we correct it. Because here is what they never taught you. From its earliest days, Stoicism explicitly taught that philosophy belongs to women as much as men. Musonius Rufus, the teacher of Epictetus himself, devoted entire lectures to defending women's right to philosophical education. He stood before skeptical Roman men and argued from first principles. Women have received from the gods the same gift of reason as men. They have the same senses, the same capacity for virtue, the same ability to distinguish right from wrong. He asked a question that still echoes across the centuries. If it is fitting for men to be good, by what reasoning would it be inappropriate for women? The answer, of course, is that there is no such reasoning. And while history tried to erase their stories, women across 2,000 years proved this truth with their lives, not through philosophical treatises, through courage that their male contemporaries could not ignore, could not forget, and ultimately could not help but record. Today, we recover 6 of these women and the wisdoms they embodied. These are not abstract principles. These are lessons forged in the fires of real life by women who faced emperors, wars, and heartbreak with a resilience that remains available to you. The first wisdom comes from a woman history sometimes calls the first female Stoic. Her name was Porcia Catonis, daughter of Cato the Younger, one of Rome's greatest Stoic heroes, wife of Marcus Brutus. In the tense days before Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE, Porcia noticed her husband was troubled, sleepless, anxious, distant. She knew something dangerous was forming, but he refused to tell her. He believed, as most Roman men did, that women were too weak to bear difficult truths. Porcia faced a choice: accept being excluded or prove her strength in a way that could not be denied. She took a blade and stabbed herself in the thigh. She endured the wound without medical aid, concealing it while continuing her household duties. Then she revealed what she had done to Brutus. "I found that my body also can keep silence," she told him. "Therefore fear not, for neither fire nor lashes nor goads will force me to divulge a word." Brutus was amazed. He revealed the conspiracy to her, and she became his confidant. The wisdom here is not about self-harm. It is about this: true strength is not performing for others. It is proving to yourself what you can endure. When you know your own capacity, you stop waiting for permission. You stop explaining yourself. You show up as someone who can be trusted with difficulty because you have already proven it to the only person who matters: you. The second wisdom comes from Arria Major, a Roman matron whose final 3 words became legendary. In 42 CE, her husband Paetus was condemned to death by Emperor Claudius for involvement in a failed rebellion. He was given the mercy of choosing how to die, but he was terrified, hesitating, unable to take his own life. Arria could not save him. The sentence was final, but she could control one thing: whether he faced death with dignity or despair. She took the dagger from his trembling hands. Without hesitation, she stabbed herself. Then she handed the blade back to him and spoke 3 words that would echo through history: "Patis, it does not hurt." Her husband found his courage. He followed her example and died with dignity. Pliny recorded that even telling the story decades later moved people to tears, not for the sadness, for the courage. The wisdom she offers is this: when someone you love is paralyzed by fear, do not tell them it will be okay. Show them, you're calm, it's contagious. Your example speaks louder than your reassurance. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give is not comfort. It is courage demonstrated. Going first so they know the path is survivable. The third wisdom belongs to Fannia, granddaughter of Arria, whose integrity cost her everything she owned. Fannia's husband was a senator who publicly criticized corrupt emperors. For his defiance, he was exiled twice and eventually executed. Fannia followed him into exile both times. Years later, she commissioned a biography celebrating his life and principles. When Emperor Domitian discovered the book, Fannia was brought to trial. She was asked if she had requested the biography be written. She could have denied it. She could have apologized. She could have saved herself. Instead, she proudly admitted what she had done. When the Senate ordered the book destroyed, she defiantly smuggled it into her third exile, preserving her husband's legacy at the cost of losing everything. Pliny wrote of her with words usually reserved for men: chastity, sanctity, dignity, and constancy. He called her a woman from whose fortitude men too can draw an example. Her wisdom is clear. True integrity is not what you believe when it is easy. It is what you refuse to abandon when it costs you everything. You may never face exile, but you will face moments when speaking truth has consequences, when agreeing would be easier, when silence would be safer. Fannia reminds us that we have to live with our choices. Choose accordingly. If this perspective resonates with you, if you are ready to reclaim a philosophy that was always meant for you, subscribe to Her Stoic Mind. This is where ancient wisdom meets modern life. The fourth wisdom comes from the daughter of an emperor, a woman whose final words revealed the core of Stoic teaching. Annia Cornificia Faustina Minor was the youngest surviving daughter of Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor himself. She grew up in a household where philosophy was not academic. It was lived daily. Her father's meditations were written during her childhood, but her life was marked by unimaginable loss. Her brother Commodus, who became emperor, ordered the deaths of her husband, her son, her brother-in-law, and her sister-in-law's entire family. Years later, Emperor Caracalla ordered her death too. The last surviving child of Marcus Aurelius was to be eliminated. Forced to commit suicide, stripped of everything she loved, Cornificia faced the ultimate question: who are you when everything external is gone? According to the historian Cassius Dio, she was permitted to choose the manner of her death. After removing her ornaments and composing herself, she opened her veins while speaking to her own soul. Poor, unhappy soul of mine, trapped in an unworthy body, go forth, be free. Show them that you are Marcus's daughter. In her final moments, she claimed the only thing that could never be taken: her identity as her father's philosophical heir. The wisdom here transforms everything. Your identity is not your job, your relationship status, your possessions, or what others think of you. Even when everything external is stripped away, you choose who you are. In moments of loss or transition, ask yourself, what is the version of me that no one can take? That is your true self. Nurture it. Build from it. The fifth wisdom returns us to Musonius Rufus, the philosopher who argued for what his culture considered impossible. In 1st century Rome, philosophy was a male domain. Women were expected to manage households, not study wisdom. When asked whether women should study philosophy, most would have said no without hesitation. Musonius argued from first principles. Not men alone, but women too have a natural inclination toward virtue and the capacity for acquiring it, he taught. And it is the nature of women, no less than men, to be pleased by good and just acts. He insisted that the educated woman would be more courageous than the uneducated, and one who has studied philosophy than one who has not. She will not submit to anything shameful because of fear of death. His lectures survived the centuries. His argument that the same type of training must befit both men and women was revolutionary then. It remains relevant now. The wisdom is simple but profound. Stop waiting for permission to study philosophy, to prioritize your growth, to claim wisdom as your own. The capacity for virtue is your birthright as a human being. You do not need to justify seeking wisdom. You do not need anyone's approval to develop your mind. The question is not whether you deserve this knowledge, it is whether you will claim it. The sixth wisdom bridges ancient Rome to the modern world through a woman most have never heard of. Elizabeth Carter lived in 18th century England. Self-educated, she mastered 9 languages through sheer persistence: Latin, Greek, Hebrew, French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and Arabic. As a woman, she had no formal education, no university degree, no institutional support. Many doubted that a woman could produce serious classical scholarship. In the 1740s, no complete English translation of Epictetus's discourses existed. The profound Stoic teachings that could transform lives were locked away in ancient Greek, inaccessible to ordinary readers. Beginning in 1749, Carter spent 9 years translating all the works of Epictetus which are now extant. She worked sheet by sheet, seeking feedback, refining her approach. The translation was published in 1758 to widespread acclaim. Her work became the standard English edition for generations. She brought Epictetus to countless readers who would never have accessed him otherwise. She literally transmitted ancient wisdom across languages and centuries. The wisdom here may be the most practical of all. You do not have to be a philosopher to spread philosophy. You do not have to be famous to have impact. Sometimes your greatest contribution is being a bridge. Passing wisdom to someone who needs it, sharing what helped you, being the reason someone else discovers what transforms their life. What wisdom are you positioned to transmit? History tried to write these women out of the story. It nearly succeeded. But their courage was too undeniable to be completely erased. The Portia's wound, Arria's 3 words, Fannia's smuggled biography, Cornificia's final declaration, Carter's 9 years of translation. These moments survived because people could not forget them even when they tried. Now you know them too. You carry their wisdom forward. Stoicism was never about togas and marble halls. It was about this. How do you respond when life becomes difficult? How do you treat others when you have power over them? How do you face loss, fear, and injustice without losing yourself? These women answered those questions with their lives. Their answers are now available to you. The serenity you seek is not found in circumstances. It is cultivated within. These 6 women proved that courage, resilience, and unshakable peace are not masculine traits. They are human capacities waiting to be claimed by anyone willing to do the work. 2,000 years have passed. The truths remain unchanged. Subscribe to her Stoic Mind for more wisdom that transcends time. And tell us in the comments which of these 6 wisdoms do you need most right now, and what would change in your life if you actually practiced it.